Hi everyone. In this video, I'll walk you through how you can compile assignment 4, which is on secure network traffic. So I have already loaded the lab. By now, you all know how to launch the lab. So I have already launched the lab and I'll straight away go and start doing the lab as usual. So we have to go and start our lab from task 1. So the first task is to create a virtual machine. So before going ahead, I'll just tell you what exactly are we going to do in this particular lab. So we actually create a virtual machine here. And while creating a VM, we don't attach any energy. So we create energy separately and attach it to it. So first we create VM without energy, and then we will create energy, which is network security group, which will be acting like a firewall for both incoming and outgoing traffic. So we create VM and then we will create energy. Then we have to associate this energy to the VM. So we attach this energy to the VM and then we will test the connectivity. We take RDP to the VM. Means this is a VM. We attach an energy and I'm somewhere here or any one of you can even do the same thing. So from here, you want to take an RDP means what all are the inbound port I have to configure. So that we will do. And first we try to connect and later we disable internet connectivity for this VM. So I can connect to this VM, but from this VM, if you try to access internet, might be any internet resources, then it will block. Okay, so that is what we are going to do. Okay, this is our lab environment. And let's perform the first task, that is create a virtual machine. Let me go to Microsoft Edge, search for portal.azure.com, key in the username and password. Okay, already I have logged in, I hope. So that is why it logged in. If in case it is asking you to enter the username and password, you can just uh, click this button, which is a text clipboard. It will directly copy this text and paste it over here. So I have already done this step and I am right now here. So let me just go and search for virtual machine. Either you can go for this hamburger menu and go to all services, or you can go for searching virtual machine here, or if it is there in the list, then you can even select it from there as well. Anyone will do the same thing. And let's go and create a virtual machine. So on the basics tab, so if you see there are multiple tabs are available. So on the basics tab, we have to give these information. So leave the subscription as it is, select the resource group, VM name to be this. So how do you copy? Just select it, copy it and keep the cursor over here. And then you can go here to this power symbol, select type text and a type clipboard text. And automatically it will be typed over here. And the region is East US. Make sure that you are selecting East US. And then the operating system to be 2019 data center. And then the size of the VM, what I'm going to create is D2SV3, D2SV3. And then the username and password. Okay, once you give all this information, move on to the networking tab, switch to networking tab. Either you can just go and select networking here, or you can click here. So first it will take to disk and then to networking, or you can directly go to networking. The password you can say not now. Okay, on networking, NIC, network security group, none. So that is what I was telling. So we create a VM without network security group. Later we attach to that, create and attach it to it or associate to it. Next, management. On management tab under the monitoring section, but this was little old instruction. So now you can see monitoring also in a different tab. So you have to go to this monitoring and disable this boot diagnostics. So when your system boots up, when you restart your system, shut down and start your system, that time, uh, a boot process will take place, right? So if something goes wrong, then what went wrong actually will be captured by this boot diagnostic. So, but right now we will disable it. And I can say review create and create. So this will take a couple of seconds. Let us wait. So once it is created, we will go to the resource and we will check as specified here. Meanwhile, I'll have a duplicate tab. So in this tab, I will go and create a network security group. So what I will do, I'll just duplicate and click on this Microsoft Azure. So it'll take me to the home page. Okay. And then I'll be waiting. So let me wait for this deployment to complete, and then we can continue the task two in this tab two. Yes, the resource creation is successful. I can go to resources, and under resources, if I go to network settings, and you can see that there is no network security group attached. This is expected because we didn't create energy. Now let's go and separately create and associate that energy to the VM. Again, just search for network security group or energy, and then you can find network security group. Let's create a one. And we need to give these informations under the basics tab. So we are at basics tab and select the subscription and then select the resource group and the name. Let me just copy and keep the cursor, go to power button, select type text, and then clipboard. Next is East US. Make sure that you are creating all the resources in East US. And then I can say review, create, and create. Once the resource the network security group resource gets created, we will go and associate to the virtual machines NIC card, network interface card. Till then, let me wait. Hey, the resource creation is successful. Let's go to the resource. And then we can associate this. How do you go? Like if you see under settings, you can go to network interface because this network interface, simple VM, that should get associated to this particular energy. So let's go to the network interface and say associate. I'm in tab 2 and select the NIC card and say OK. So this is what is given here. Next, now let's try to take RDP to this VM. So as I was telling, we created a VM and then we created an energy. These two are done. We associated this VM with this energy. Now let's take RDP. Means I'm somewhere here and I will take RDP so that I can, do any configuration level changes or modification to this particular VM. Let's take RDP. So I'll go to VM, go to overview, and I try to connect. So when I click on connect, so there will be a RDP file to be downloaded. Let me keep it and open that file to connect. Obviously, it will not connect because in the network security group, we haven't allowed it any specific rule. So that we have to do it. So it will try to connect and definitely it will fail. So to set this right, yes, it got failed. So the almost similar image you are also getting. To set this right, so what I will do, I'll go to my network settings in the VM page. Let me refresh once. We are still in the same page. Whatever the modification you made, it's not getting reflected. Just once you refresh, then you can see the modification. Yes. So in here, I will just go and create port rule and say inbound port rule. So as inbound port rule, these are the basics information I have to give. So any star, any custom, it should be 3389 because the RDP works at the port number 3389. And then the protocol is TCP, action is allow, and then the priority to 300. And you can change the name or leave it as it is. Let me change allow RDP and say add. An inbound rule, which is allowing RDP connection is created. Now, I'll go to overview tab. Once again, I download this RDP file. Let's say keep it and open that particular RDP file and try to connect. I should be able to connect now if everything is okay. If not, then you have to check your settings while creating this inbound rule. Have you given all the settings properly or not? So let me key in the password. So the username is Azure and then the password was this. This is what I have given while creating this VM. And I try to connect to this and say yes. So this gets connected to the VM what we have created. So once we connect to this VM, it will take some time. So let it load. By default, you are connected to this VM and this VM also can connect to internet. But now what are we going to do is we are going to stop this internet connectivity from the VM. If I want, I can communicate. So I'll get the response. But from VM, we can't initiate any traffic to the internet. So that's what we have to block. First, let's see whether are we getting any internet connectivity? Yes, we are getting because right now it is not blocked. And we test whether it is available or not. Yes, it will be available. And then later we block the internet connection and then we again test it. So that time we will not be able to access internet. So to test it, let me just go for Microsoft Edge. Or you can even go for this particular Internet Explorer as well. Either one is fine, but Internet Explorer will be asking you to whitelist some of the website what you're trying to access. So it might take some time. So it's better go with this Microsoft Edge one and search for, okay. So first time when you're accessing Microsoft Edge, it will ask you few data. Don't give any, you can say start without your data and continue and start browsing. So in here, let's search for www.bing.com. So we can access, we can also try some other website, let's say youtube.com. Yes, you will be able to access anything, any resource which is available on internet. Now our task is to configure energy in such a way that, especially outbound rule, in such a way that it will block the internet connectivity. Okay, let me minimize this VM and I'll go to VM and search network settings. Under network settings, if you go outbound rule, let's create one outbound rule. So this is what is given here. On outbound rule, source to be any, port to be any, destination is service tag and internet. So you want to block internet. So you select this internet and then what action you want to block. So you can just go and say, you leave it custom and then I can give the port number as star. So the destination service tag is internet and then the destination port range is star. It means any port number on internet you are trying to block. So any TCP connection and then the action is to deny. Let's deny the communication and the priority number you can give 4000, deny internet. The name you are giving it to this outbound security rule and say add. I hope the port number was not edited properly. It is showing a wrong one. So I just noticed. Again, you can again get back to the configuration and then in here you can type star asterisk and say save. Make sure that the modification what you made for the port number is reflected. So if it is 8080 or something, you have to change it. Yes, in my case, it changed. Now, it will take some time. So the moment you deny internet, it will take some time. Now let's try to go and refresh internet connectivity from my system and check whether it is letting me connect to this internet or not. It will take some time. Let me wait for 5 to 10 seconds before trying next. And let me also check once again if everything is okay. Deny internet, port number, TCP, source any to internet. The traffic is to be denied. I'll go back to Microsoft Edge and try to connect to Microsoft.com. And one more tab, I will try to connect to YouTube.com. Yeah, the Microsoft.com is not getting connected. Okay. Yeah, can't reach. You don't have internet connectivity. So you can take this particular screenshot. I hope we are done. So as usual, just go for getting the sticky note. And you can click on this add button and then you can give your name. So you can give your name and then the time, everything if you want, you can give here. And then by keeping this, go for your snipping tool. Click on new image and then you can take this entire page as a screenshot. So this will end your U4. Thank you.